Welcome back, Dota 2 fans. Grand Finals incoming. Best of 5 series begins right now. Team Spirit. Yes! Vega Squadron. Vega dethroning Na'Vi 2-0 in the last matchup, punching their ticket to this Grand Final. And, we tend to talk about, the disappointment of the major brand, Na'Vi, but we got to give credit where credit is due. Slayer has been drafting very well, and the team has been playing well around one another. They certainly did not have the type of draft to be taking a 66-minute victory in Game 2 against Na'Vi, but they were able to pull it out with very kind of decisive movement, good decision-making, great itemization on the Jakiro and the Night Stalker, and they made it work. So really impressed with what Vega has put together. Spirit, though, has kind of had their way with most teams thus far in this qualifier, so I certainly would expect them to be a formidable foe, if not the favorite in this matchup. So kind of similar response to the Lifestealer with the Bane pickup for Spirit, and the Lifestealer into the Tiny again from Vega. So they certainly seem to think that this Lifestealer has a pretty good matchup against Tiny, and they're willing to give up the Bane each time. Now, in the last game, of course, they had this long-range Ice Path to cancel the grip, and that was pretty darn reliable for the most part. So we'll see if they pick up something along those lines. They have Rubik for now, but Telekinesis requires Rubik to be a lot more committed to the fight as far as cast range goes to cancel something like a grip. Brood Band comes out from Vega, and they even ban out the Visage, so certainly been keeping an eye on FNG and the boys. You do see the Treant Vega Respect ban, and Earth Spirit ban as well from FNG in this phase. Make sure no one's disconnected. We had like 3 or 4 attempts to get into the lobby here.
Chen.
It will be the Chen pickup again, likely for Zayat. I think Sioma will be the one to play Rubik. Certainly this Chen did some work in the early game, in Game 2 of the Na'Vi series, and was able to farm up a refresher and get to level 25, so that basically 1800 health heal in the late game certainly paid dividends for Vega. Hope you guys are enjoying your Easter Sunday. I know I am. Got up a bit early to cast some Dota. And it's been 2 days in a row after a long hiatus, so I hope my voice lasts for y'all. But it feels okay at this point. So we kind of think of, at this point, I suppose, just direct counters to Chen. You look at the Mirana, look at, in some respects, the Clinks, the Witch Doctor as well. All fit the bill. Witch Doctor is actually banned out by Team Spirit themselves. The other two still apply in some respects. Or you just go for something like a Juggernaut who's just a little bit more resilient to the pressure of the Chen early on. However, there is always the possibility for a Troll Warlord with the net. FNG taking his time mulling this pick over. Okay. So this is definitely something that Team Spirit has leaned on. Not the most effective roamer early on, but definitely a hero that can run in aggressively natured lanes as well. Is fairly tanky with the agility, has pretty good move speed as well throughout the game, and does have another BKB piercing disable for the Lifestealer. So seems to be the theme of the supports here. Naga Siren having the net early, Grip coming into play later for the Bane, and Sioma is certainly very prepared, not necessarily for the Naga pick, but with his own lineup, insta picks the Underlord here. Another difficult target to burst down for the Tiny. And a bit of a wave pusher. Spirit going to opt for the Terrorblade here. There's not really any great burst for Vega. Again, something that really doesn't care about the rage with the Sunder. And high base armor hero to make it very difficult for the Lifestealer to bring him down. Underlord's not going to provide much burst, and neither will Chen or Rubik, really. So in general, Terrorblade slotted to have a good one. OD ban comes out from Slayer, and FNG contemplating his final ban. Is looking for a mid laner. Bans out the DK, picks up the Quap. DP is already banned out. And those are probably, you know, the three most common mid laners. Puck, certainly still in the pool, provides him a little bit of burst. And some way to take out the TB. Now, the Puck pick is a little bit more risky into the Naga setup. You kind of, I believe, it may be hard to hit, but kind of throw the Avalanche as the song expires. Of course, the Meteor Hammer build usually to come out, and Orchid is a likely build up for the Quap, especially with a Lifestealer on the field. But still, Puck pretty good in what she offers here, or he offers. Kind of a gender agnostic hero. Lina is also in the pool, although not that common. You want to think of things that offer, you know, kill potential in the mid lane with the Chen. And it is going to be that Vega Jakiro. They're really just kind of not going to give up on this. And Jakiro is a hero with a lot of magic damage, and we've seen him go all three lanes. So my guess here is that it's going to be Undershock in the aggressive lane. And Palantimos will take to the mid, and Blizzy will pick up the safe lane on Underlord. Yeah, that is what I would expect from Vega, considering what they've been running up until this point. Damn, that's a good looking Terrorblade set, isn't it? And we saw Vega's Terrorblade in game 1 against Na'Vi absolutely roll them in the late game, even though Na'Vi had a lead at some point. But yeah, we one thing we can finally say about this this Jakiro lineup for Vega is that they have proven they can take it late. You know, this is not as much of a pressured lineup as we may anticipate to finish the game within a certain time interval. You may look at it on paper and think it has a burn timer, but it certainly proved last game that that's not necessarily the case. Still, in the previous game, they were up against an Ursa DP 1-2 position, and in this game, it will be a Terrorblade Quap. So, much better scaling lineup for Spirit in this one. So, you're still on somewhat of a timer, but definitely they showed with itemization, Vega did in the previous game, that they can extend the life cycle of their lineup. So right now it actually looks like Undershock's mid. So they haven't done this too often. Against the Cop, I'm a little surprised. I would have expected the Lifestealer to be against him, but it's a tough lane in either case. Hero pretty tanky though, but can kind of sustain out the harass from the Quap. But I do worry for him with the move in from the Bane or Naga. Both pretty quick heroes. Naga 339 with that Windlace, Bane 310 base or level 1. Some, you know, I like to think level 1 and base are similar, but I would call level 1 stats base stats, but they are different. You get your gains at 1. Jakiro on the other hand, 290. This is a slow mother despite having wings. Vega kind of feel like wings the way they've been drafting recently. Blizzy gonna run into FNG, and he was making the good old smoke and kind of just chill here and screw the wave up for himself play, but that didn't seem to work out. Riptide is there. FNG yet to skill anything, just put some right click punishment into Blizzy, and Slayer will join him up on the Rubik early on, which leaves Zayat's bottom. The dire side did get down a lane ward here, which, you know, you suppose is to help see the Chen rotations. It is DK Phobos on the Tiny in this lane, and already we saw Undershock in the past few games is very good at last hitting on this Jakiro, and partly the reason they pick it, I'm sure, is how comfortable he is, but Enfeeble never makes life easy. Zayat's going to be pressured here by DK Phobos, and FNG rotating in is going to enfeeble up Palantimos. It looks a lot like Game 2 against Na'Vi, where LeBron was sitting mid on the Bane and just enfeebling Palantimos' lifestealer. But he certainly recovered nicely from that. So Zayat's being chased down by FNG in the jungle. And we'll find finally a useful creep here. I say finally because in the early going in last game, the Mud Golems were just not plentiful for Zayats. He got a Wild Wing Ringapper and a Hellbear Smasher, which two of the more underwhelming creeps as far as level 1 goes. So three of these... he's going to go for the 4 rock play here mid lane, as he is standing nearby another creep. Okay, blink dodge for G for one of the stones. And as the 2-minute rune spawns, it looks like Zayats will bring his Mud Golem's bottom. He's got 6. This has to be dead Tiny, right? Okay, never mind. He's got 7. This is probably one of the best things we're ever going to see. FNG running. DK Phobos running. They're in trouble. 1 rock. 2 rock. 3 rock. 4 rock. We got some more Zayats. 5 rock. 6 rock. So the salve is going to be there. DK Phobos surviving this somehow. Looked like maybe a couple Mud Golems expired in there, but that was... less eventful than I had hoped. Denied. Unbiased caster here, but I do like seeing tons of rocks being thrown at people. And look at this. I mean, this is a Queen of Pain Undershock is level against. He's 12 and 7. And granted, Jakiro has great base damage, but he is just adept at last hitting with this hero. FNG probably going to kill off Zayats here. He does have a level in the Brain Sap. And does have the boots advantage. And Zayats, well, he's trying to juke him out, and so far so good. He's dead. He's dead. Okay, in the meantime, well, the rock comes through and FNG forced to TP out. And meanwhile, Blizzy getting a kill on Biver, and now Illidan in trouble too. He gets the magic wand off, however. And the power of the Underlord being felt top lane with the Rubik nearby. 50 stacks in the Atrophy Aura. I believe is max at level 1. With the duration that you can kind of keep accrued. But yeah, 18 and 10 to the 13 and 7 in this mid lane. Undershock is a beast on this. And Terrorblade goes down as well. Alrighty. Good stuff. Good camera work. Hasted up is the Bane for FNG, and he'll make a wrap around mid where he'll plant down an Observer Ward. And G may be calling for help in this lane. FNG nearby. Dual Breath will be there onto GG. Does have a Blink Scream if needed. He will Fairy Fire. Alright, I'm okay with missing that kill because this one's more important. Jump forward. Blink Scream from G. DK Phobos did go down in the meantime. Looks like a couple of creeps utilized there. And all things going pretty well. You know, 3-2 for Vega, and they're leading the CS in all the lanes. Zayat's perhaps slightly underleveled for a Chen at this point. FNG hasn't quite dinged level 3. Penitent's going to be popped by Zayat. Again, no boots on him, and the Bane will finally bring him down. DK Phobos. Toss over onto FNG, but the Hadouken is there. Rage is not going to be enough. As Enfeeble. It's a spell. It's actually 2 levels in the Enfeeble on the Bane. Not the most common build. Ooh, the Glyph. Calculated. Wrap around top lane. Biver. Gonna be telekinesis back into the Firestorm, and takes a decent amount of damage, but Nagasiren pretty tanky in general. Undershock on the high side of the Dire Steps at nighttime. Could be a little bit vulnerable here. Gets the Dual Breath off onto G, and that'll probably... oh, and the Liquid Fire hits as well. He could be in trouble here. He does have a bottle, and is going to be just fine. But, I mean, this is 6 minutes in, and these are just Jakiro things in the mid lane. 3-man rotation, though, coming in. And the Wand is there. Sonic Wave going to be used to find the Undershock kill. And no response elsewhere, it seems, from Vega. So a pretty big kill for G in the mid lane. As Telekinesis goes up top. And they try to bring down Illidan. Reflection, though, will keep them from pursuit. Kill the Illusion. And Blizzy will get underneath the tower here. Needs to be careful, though. And yeah, G's even rotated in for this. Blizzy does have a TP available. May want to use it here. And he has a stick as well. He's going to try and cut through the trees. And will just actually Firestorm. So he is going to essentially concede his death. But in the meantime, Undershock working on the mid lane tower. G's going to rotate in, but with one more Liquid Fire, that should be all she wrote. And we'll get the tower hit, but the TP in from DK Phobos should secure a kill here as the toss back comes. But the creeps are nearby. Liquid Fire off onto G. Undershock trying to make it down to the south. Dual Breath is there. He should get the G kill, and Undershock surviving for now with the creeps. Gets denied by the Chen. G actually does survive. What a play by the Chen. Zayat, his sendbacks have been very clutch as well on this hero in the throughout the day. So certainly just as comfortable on his Chen as Undershock is on the Jakiro, and they do end up getting the Radiant does, or the Dire does, or the Radiant does. Wow. The hit on the tower. It is Undershock actually himself to pick up the last hit. Makes his way up top lane, and now Illidan in trouble. Oh, Breathe Fire just shy. A little deceptive with the staircase there. As far as range goes, Liquid Fire will connect onto Illidan, make his life a living hell. And he'll get to jungling, and essentially this tower is also conceded with Undershock's rotation top lane. Slayer going to find some time mid as Undershock vacates the area to get a little bit of experience. Undershock, again, doing Jakiro things, 8.5 minutes in, or 9 minutes in or so. Palantimos having a pretty good damn time, in fact, considering the enfeeble. 47 and 19 is, you know, the best CS score really across the board, all things considered. Lizzie with a little more, but the denies are better. Jakiro trying to get into the fog and makes it away from Phobos, who will toss back now into the Bane. Liquid Fire and the Dual Breath are there. G and the Terrorblade for Illidan are nearby, though. And they are committing a lot to this Jakiro. And he is certainly a worthy target. Now 5th overall in the net worth, but there is a Chen army, and Blizzy has joined bottom. And, you know, despite getting a Jakiro kill, it's a lot of commitment, and there's no real trades in sight. I didn't catch where Slayer was that time, but he does pick up level 5, and with the tome coming out, well, it'll probably be the Chen to pick that up, but he should have his level 6 relatively soon. 3rd tier 1 tower of the game goes down. Unfortunately, none of the heroes able to pick up the last hit there, but none of those 3 tier 1s denied. Haste! As Biver going to pick up a haste on the Siren. Still, though, Blizzy undeterred bottom lane. Going to press forward with the Chen army. And a couple more skeletons queued up. Blizzy with a few atrophy stacks here. Going to work on this tier 2. 10 minutes in. And Undershock has now joined the fray as well. G does have the Sonic Wave. Blizzy going to back out for that reason. And G looks to find Zayats in the trees. Kind of does, but F and G getting real low here. Send back from Zayats on Blizzy. He'll get netted up. And his TP cancelled. Blizzy will be sent back. Undershock trying to make it away. Biver does not have a net for 4 seconds. And Undershock, it looks like he's quick enough with the phase boots to make it back to safety. So they lose the Chen, but they get a pretty significant amount of damage done on the tier 2. And Blizzy does survive on the Underlord. He is one of the highest value heroes in the game right now. Palantimos still AFK farming away. He has gone for this Radiance build in the past couple of games. He's played the Lifestealer and is 2,600 gold on the way to the Relic. Slayer makes his way into the jungle, going to clean up the Terrorblade illusions and even steals a creep away from Illidan. Illidan is still farming decently overall, but is a little bit behind his laning equivalent in the Lifestealer. That's one of the most satisfying sounds in the game, using a mango, isn't it? Chi gonna cap a Liquid Fire and a Dual Breath as top lane. Looks like a skirmish may break out. Enfeeble stolen by the Rubik. And it is level 2 in this matchup, so it may actually be a decent steal.
Worthy tribute.
Chi gonna do the Bounty Rune relay bottom, and mid lane is pinged out as creeps begin to poke at it. Bot lane, Undershock in trouble, doing a stack, and yeah, he could be in a world of hurt here. Toss forward, he goes for the TP out, Avalanche will cancel it, and the tree toss will finish him. Blizzy feeling pretty confident top lane. They know Undershock is gone though, so need to be careful. Does have the Vanguard and the Chainmail, however, so pretty darn tanky on this. And against the Terrorblade, Crimson Guard makes a lot of sense. So with or without Jakiro, the push continues with the Chen and the Underlord. And tower is secured by the Chen. As Blizzy continues to farm away. Palantimos gonna make his way towards the bottom lane where Slayer and G reside. And Slayer only the level 1, but does pick up the level 4 Shadow Strike. I was gonna say only the level 1 Telekinesis. Had he stolen the Blink from G, it's possible he initiates there, but... Blizzy 65 stacks on the Atrophy Aura. Terrorblade, top lane. No mana for the Sunder here. Could be in trouble. And Zayat's though still playing around as if he does have it. Meta is going to be popped. Dark Rift queued up though. Crimson Guard is there and they should be out of here without issue. Hand of God is there and the Dark Rift. Going to bring him back to base. Meanwhile, Slayer getting some levels. Palantimos farming away. Undershock playing a little bit safe as he has died a couple of times recently. And really does need that Yules to provide some initiation to his team. But overall, it's Metamorphosis down for Team Spirit and Grip used as well. So Vega can certainly queue up the push in the most likely bottom lane sometime soon. EK Phobos contemplating denying this tower. Uses the toss. He's going to get Shadow Struck up and Telekinesis. And toss is there as well, but Vega not willing to commit in too hard for this. And the sleep from Biver, level 1, will catch 2 here. This could be a big loss for Vega Squadron. As Rubik tries to toss out the Naga, but both him and Undershock will fall regardless. And really odd to see Vega as split up as they are in this one. We generally see them group a little earlier with this kind of strategy, but we have seen them wait for the Radiance, and that now is out on Palantimos. They will look at the Roche with this Medallion and the Chen army, and after the kill bottom, it's very unlikely that Spirit make the rotation over, as they just want the tower here, so it should be pretty successful for Vega. They do have the Firestorm from the Underlord, which accelerates this even further. And he's now got a Hood of Defiance on top of his Crimson Guard. So, all things considered, the strategy is still
illusion.
Fit for a queen.
Set to be executed here from Vega, as Slayer could be in a little bit of trouble. DK Phobos making his approach with the Shadow Blade. Brain Sap stolen by Slayer though. And this is not an easy target to bring down. Toss back onto Blizzy, but he'll hood himself up. Even though he gets grip, Slayer nearby has the lift in a second, will get it off. Root onto a few, Sonic Wave comes through. Crimson Guard is there, however. Slayer, he's likely to be the first one to fall, but a dual breath from the low ground with the Macropyre is going to put Biver in harm's way. Liquid Fire is there, and the Naga Siren should drop momentarily. He does. Palantimos a little bit late to this party. Zayats gets the Penitence off, and he's in trouble now. Tossed up into the air. Reflection will be there as well. Palantimos still trying to chase forward, as probably not a great idea to go in onto the Terrorblade. They turn for the Bane, and will get that kill. As DK Phobos kind of used his full litany of spells there, had to back out. Palantimos had the Aegis, so continuing to fight, and Slayer TP's down to the bottom shrine and will join with his team soon. And Melons must be proud. Vega making this THD work overtime in this GESC Thailand Qualifier. As the last Liquid Fire going to be thrown at the tower. And Blizzy the one to pick up the last hit there. Chen going to bring his creeps to the bottom lane. And that's it for outer tier towers for Team Spirit. 4K net worth lead for the Vega side. They do still have an Aegis. So bringing down the wave pretty quickly. Root and the Ice Path will catch onto FNG. Liquid Fire is there as well. And he does still have the grip. Palantimos joining the fray on the Lifestealer a little bit late here. But Liquid Fire will whittle away at the tier 3. Palantimos going to jump up to the high ground. Going to get netted up briefly. And DK Phobos nearby. Radiance is there, however, and is the Hood. The Crimson Guard's there, but the Root and the Ice Path from range once again. And the grip is stolen. Song going to look to reset things, but Team Spirit not really in healthy fighting shape. As Palantimos still has the Aegis on his person. Has an Infest as well if need be. And the stolen grip is going to find the Terrorblade. Avalanche will be there, but the Ice Path onto 2. They bring him back. He is going to get the Sunder off onto Blizzy, but the Hand of God keeping him safe for now. Blizzy does end up going down. They still do have Aegis, though. And the Terrorblade on the sidelines really does not want to buy back here 19 minutes into this game. Liquid Fire from the high ground. Guaranteed hit for the Jakiro is going to bring the tower down to 62 HP. But it looks like they will end up backing out without their Underlord. And Undershock will ensure that the Tier 1 tower top is still standing. Now this is, you know, more... Na'Vi was able to take out 4 towers at this point away from a Jakiro lineup. But, you know, take a look at this side of the map. There isn't a tower missing for Team Spirit right now. And despite having a Terrorblade, they haven't done any sort of building damage. Palantimos gets the rage off, and FNG can only try a defensive nightmare, but the stolen Avalanche will secure the kill. Aced it up mid lane, Undershock making his way over to join up with his team. And again, looking for that Blink Dagger after the double null Yule's build up. Same story in every game, similar to Palantimos, who has gone for this Radiant Solar Crest. So Vega certainly set in their ways, and you know, it seems that most of these CIS teams still seem to believe that they can beat this Jakiro Lifestealer lineup, and Vega just continue to go back to it. Palantimos Solar Crested up, hood or pipe is there, excuse me, from Blizzy as well. Toss back or forward, I should say, on Undershock. The grip is there. Avalanche onto the backlines, and they will take out the Jakiro. Palantimos still has an Aegis, however, and they will rage and look to work on this Rax. Now Dark Rift going to be queued up. Need one more right click from the Lifestealer onto the building. They'll get it and take him out. Meanwhile, on the south side, they do get the Rubik. But melee Rax secured by this Jakiro lineup, and not all that much loss, considering the Jakiro went down early. So they do eat a little bit into the lead. It's about a 1,400 gold swing, but they do get a melee Rax as well. So, you know, you can consider that 1,000 gold back in the pockets of Vega. And taking a look at the net worth, it is a steady but slow increase in their favor. And maybe the key part of all of this is that they've kept Terrorblade down pretty considerably here. He's even opted to go for a Hood of Defiance in this one. Meanwhile, top lane G in trouble, used up into the air, rooted as he drops down. And a 5 times kill ended. Now, cliffed onto the high ground is the Bane, looking for the TP out. Root is not there, but the Ice Path is. FNG on the sidelines. G down 40 seconds. Instant buyback from the Bane. G does not have one. And bottom lane, the Chen creeps dealing with the push here as the rest of Vega forced back. Reflection will fly out, but really not going to deter the push at this point. Liquid Fire did miss from the staircase there, it seems, but this one will connect. And making quick work of the Tier 3 with G on the sidelines is the Vega unit. Looking for their second Tier 3 already here, 20 minutes in, and they will be successful in taking it. 10 seconds until G is up. Doesn't look like they want a hard commit on this set of racks here. Without an Aegis. Toss back from onto Blizzy, but the Ice Path's going to find DK Phobos. Hand of God and the Pipe going to keep Blizzy pretty safe for now. They do not have an Ice Path for this grip. And the Sonic Wave comes through, but the send back from Zayats, it's there once again. Onto the Underlord. And the song is going to be there from Slayer, stolen song. Now the Dark Rift trying to come back into the fight as the Underlord, but he thinks better of it. And it looks like Zayats will be the sacrificial lamb and or horse or his squad. Slayer in trouble now as well. He's going to steal the Scream of Pain and make his way over to the south. Misses the Scream of Pain. Palantimos is nearby though, and the blink was used by G. Solar Crest, he is just chunking away. And changing to the offensive null field there at the last moment. Slayer wanting to go for the Scream, but G makes it over towards the Shrine. Rage available in 1 second for Palantimos, and he will pop it off here. Open Wound's going to be purged by the TB, and fight going to reset. Firestorm, Root, Ice Path, and the Dual Breath going to hit onto 2. They get the G, Queen of Pain right away. Macropyre is there for a moment. DK Phobos going to be used up into the air and into the Ice Path. Firestorm will find him as well. Team Spirit are bleeding heroes in their own jungle. And Undershock has just been masterful on this Jakiro with this Blink Yules build. And they have made it work with any sort of supporting cast. This Lifestealer Jakiro base of this lineup has just worked wonders for them. Check them out on Dota Buff, guys. It's just impressive what they've done in this qualifier. Blizzy up to the high ground. Solar Crest Shine buff is going to be thrown on him. And he will gladly tank the structures as DK Phobos down for another 10 seconds. In the meantime, Illidan takes out a tier 1 top, just desperately trying to get any sort of extra cash flow before this fight. And meanwhile, he picks up the Dragon Lance. Went for the Sange for a second there, but opts for the Dragon Lance. Another lane of racks down in this game. And Vega going for the jugular here. Sentries are down. Ice Path connects onto 2. Macropyre is there. Defensive Nightmare will not save DK Phobos. Sonic Wave is through 4, but where is the follow-up? Grip is going to come through from the Bane. It is going to be Ice Path away. The Shadow Strike will be stolen by the Rubik. He doesn't get the Grip, but they get the Mega Creeps here. 25 minutes in. And we'll press for more as the Bane dropping down. The Terrorblade in trouble as well. Song is going to be there from Biver. Yules up into the air onto the Terrorblade. He can go for the Sunder, but it'll only delay the inevitable as a triple kill for the Lifestealer and the GG from FNG. And guys, are we going to see a Jakiro ban? Because 3 games in a row and more if you look further back in the tournament where Vega has made this Jakiro look unstoppable. And this was not even the best showing by far from Undershock. 7 deaths, the most on his team. And they still make it work. They get all the tier 2 towers down by like 17 minutes. And Mega Creeps by 25. Just an absolute masterful piece of Dota 2. Again, coming out from Vega Squadron. And they carry their momentum over. You know, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Momentum is very much a thing in Dota. And sometimes, although you may not be scared of a team's certain strategy, such as the Jakiro, it sometimes makes sense to just, you know, when you're playing 21 against your friends, sometimes you throw the ball away from where he's standing to throw him off his rhythm. And, you know, I feel similarly in Dota, maybe you just got to ban the hero that they've had so much success with today. We'll see if FNG makes that adjustment in Game 2. But in any case, Vega up 1-0 in these grand finals. Best of 5, guys. Winner goes on to GESC Thailand and has a chance to make it on to GESC Indonesia with a win there.